Hello, welcome back to my channel. This is Freedom Phantom, aka Masi Amadzai, or vice versa. Today I want to talk about the golden rule and how applying it today made my day way better than I could have ever imagined. I went I went out today to get some errands done and do some deliveries. Dashing and stuff like that. And I was surprised. It's my personality to walk up to strangers and talk, or talk to the person right next to me in line, and it paid off. It honestly paid off today. I wasn't looking for it to pay off. I was just trying to make a connection or a conversation happen. Um, I like meeting new people, so just to start off, the golden rule is a rule where you want others you want to treat others the way you want to be treated. And I learned this from my godparents when I was really young. They're religious, they're Christian. My godmother's less has less faith in religion than my godfather, but they're still Christian. And but even though they're Christian, they don't treat other people from other religions any negatively, and I'll get into that in a second. So yeah, the golden rule and my godparents, they showed me a poster on I think their yeah, it was in their kitchen, on their kitchen door, on one of the doors in the kitchen. And as a kid, I'm like looking at it, and it's all the religions, like a circle of all the religions, like Christianity, Islam, Judaism, Buddhism, and all that. And it's a circle, and in the middle of the circle is the golden rule, where every religion, everybody knows that human decency is treating others with respect and kindness, and not looking down on anybody or judging anybody for having difference in opinion. And that really like, I think, shaped my mindset in interacting with people, even if they were quote unquote weird looking, or they just didn't fit the norm in society, like a bunch of tattoos or piercings and stuff. I don't really like. I don't want to get that many tattoos. Maybe one or two. I don't want to get that many piercings, but it's to each his own type of stuff. So that's the golden rule in a nutshell, and I'll tell you guys in just a sec how I applied it today without even realizing, and it gave me tremendous connections. And so just to start off, the start of the day, I dashed for a little bit, and then I had to go to the mall to get my glasses replaced because I had a scratch on it. But so I did that, and after I got my glasses replaced, I start walking around the mall, and I'm like, "Yo, where's everybody? What's going on? Why is the mall so empty?" And I was walking past these two gentlemen. They were older. They were in like their 50s or early 60s, maybe late 50s. And I just asked them. I'm like, "Hey guys, do you guys live in Henrietta?" And they're like, "No, we're just here for to play music." And I met them. And I introduced myself, and we started talking. One of the guys had to go because he had to set up the instruments and stuff. But the one guy stuck around, and we talked for literally like 25 minutes about self-development, about financial freedom, about books that he recommended me. I wrote a bunch of books down, and he was like a very interesting conversation, and it was right up my alley. Who would think to that this guy knows, or this Steven is just as interested in financial freedom and self-development just as much as I am. It was really fascinating, and he was really interested in my life too. He was talking about oh, you create content and you have podcasts and stuff like that. And I offered if you ever wanted to come on the podcast, we could talk. And he's like, yeah, sure. Get here, add me on Facebook. So I just made a friend just by walking around and striking up a conversation with someone about the mall. And they said, yeah, it's because of U of R buying the mall and they're turning it into something else, and online shopping is kind of making malls dead. And I didn't really think about all that without meeting somebody. I mean, without talking to Steven about it. So that's the first interaction. And then the second interaction was I had to pick up an order, and it was going 11 miles. It was going pretty far. I got it from Bill Gray's. The Bill Gray's was right next to me. It was like 2 minutes away. Go like 11 miles, and I go somewhere near Chile Ave, near Greece, and I pulled over to the person's house that the order was supposed to be delivered to, and this nice man named Carlos, he was around my age, and he was standing outside in the cold. In the cold, he was like standing outside just so I can spot him, which was really awesome. I already knew what the house was, but just because he was considerate enough to do that was awesome. So I immediately parked the car, go up to him like, hey, how you doing? And he's like, hey man, I'm sorry, I thought they DoorDash was supposed to give you the order by the Bill Gray's right next to my house. I'm sorry that you had to drive all the way this way. I'm like, no worries. It's fine. I was near the area, and that's maybe why they chose me, and it all worked out. No worries. Here's your food. Enjoy, brother. He's like, no, I can't let you go without giving you this tip. And he gave me a $20 tip. I made $40 in 15 minutes, which isn't bad. But even after that, I still continue to talk to him about gaming and stuff, and he takes care of his parents, so he doesn't have that much time. I was like, if you ever decide to game, hit me up. And he said, awesome. So I made another friend just by like being social and not like transactional. Like I could have done the first with the first people. I could have been like, hey, you guys live in Henrietta? And they're like, nope. And I could have just walked away. Because if I'm looking for an answer, one answer, singular answer, I'm just gonna like do that. But I don't really do that. I don't like transactional interactions. So that's what happened with Carlos. And then I'll tell you guys in just a sec the other interactions, treating people with applying the golden rule in the day-to-day basis. Yeah, so far 2 friends in the first 2 hours of my day. That's pretty cool. I'd say so. Then I was driving back to Henrietta because I was in Greece at this point after so I was in Greece at this point. I had to come back to Henrietta because I had to go to the DMV. On the way to the DMV, I saw this guy, this panhandler, on the road. I was listening to a YouTube video on how to figure out how to get into digital marketing and make a big bank or whatever. I was trying to figure out how to make a lot of money in digital marketing, and just when I was listening to that, I saw the panhandler. So I paused the video and I pulled up right next to him on the road. I'm like, hey man, sorry, I don't have any cash on me. I have cards, and I only have my Google Wallet. Not Google Wallet, I'm saying Apple Wallet, and then I have physical cards, so I didn't have any cash. So I started grabbing all the change from my glove compartment and everything, and I gave them. He's like, no man, that's awesome. He's like, thank you so much. That means a lot. And then I'm like, oh, if there's anything else I could do, I would do it right now. He's like, do you have any vapes that are almost dead or almost finished? I was like, yeah, let me see. And I looked around, and there's 2 that were practically almost finished, and I gave him both of them. It's like, oh man, this is a great day. Thank you so much. And I felt good, but I also felt bad, and then I also felt grateful. It was a lot of mixed emotions there. And he's like, God bless, thank you so much. And I was like, if I ever see you around, I'm gonna give you a regular vape that's like a new one. But there's traffic behind me. I didn't want to hold the traffic, so didn't really get to exchange information with him. His name was Frank. So I met 3 guys. Frank was pretty cool. So but when I was driving away, I was reflecting. I'm like, hey, here I am trying to work to make money, and I sometimes feel like, why am I doing so much? And I don't really look at what I got. I don't think about what I have. I'm not grateful for what I have because I have a house, I have a car, I have money to buy food, I have money to buy vapes and all this stuff, and Frank is in the cold, homeless. I'm like, damn. So it was a bittersweet moment. I want to see Frank again one day and hopefully help him out. And that's the third interaction and third friend I made. Um, okay, so now let's see. The last two interactions were pretty cool because they were kind of contradictory on or opposite of each other. I get to the DMV and there's a big line. So I usually like talking to people. I don't like being quiet. If I can talk to somebody, I'll try to figure out what they're about and everything. So the person in front of me, like, hey, how you doing? And he's like, huh? I'm like, how are you doing? And he's like, I'm good. This seems like a long line. I'm like, yeah, it's okay. It seems like we're moving. He's like, we're not going anywhere. I'm like, okay, okay. Where are you from? He's like, I'm from Rochester. I'm like, oh, cool. What about your ethnicity? He's like, oh, I'm Indian. So I was like, huh, kaise ho? That means, how are you? In Hindi, and he turns like, he smiles. He starts smiling a little bit. I'm like, yeah. And he's like, where are you from? I'm like, from Afghanistan. He's like, oh, nice to meet you. So then got quiet for a little bit. So then I asked him another question. I'm like, what do you do for fun? And I know it's not this, waiting at the line in DMV. And he's like, I don't do anything for fun. I'm like, do you work a lot? He's like, yes, I work a lot, all the time. I'm like, okay. I got quiet for a little bit longer. And then I asked him, I'm like, okay, what are your hobbies? He's like, I don't have any hobbies. I'm like, so you work all the time? Yeah, he's like, yeah. I think video games and I asked him what video games he played. He's like, none. So he's like, I think video games and hobbies are a waste of time. I'm like, okay, all right, yeah, well, I create content. And I showed him. He's like, oh, cool, you must have millions of followers. I'm like, not there yet, buddy, not there yet. But he's like, okay. So then I got really quiet for like a few minutes, and I turn around and I see a group of. This is my favorite interaction. I'll just do a transition, and I guess I'll tell you guys in a second. All right. So finally, we're at my favorite interaction or interactions because my friend, I forgot his name, the Indian fellow, or he wasn't giving me much to work with. So I was just silent for a minute. I was looking around, and then I looked to my left, and there's three people coming into the door, and I noticed one of them had like the cane, the crutch for blindness. So I'm like, oh, okay, she's blind. She might be blind, and I noticed one of the guys in front was holding her hands and nudging her forward or something. So then these three people were like in a huddle in the line, and they were talking, but they weren't saying words. So all three of them were communicating, and they were very handsy, and they were using sign language. But one of the guys was holding I believe this is what he was doing. He was holding the girl's hands while she was doing sign language, so she knows that he was hearing her, he was seeing her, like something like that. So yeah, just got sidetracked. I was checking if it was recording. So she was signing. She was I wish I remembered her name. I remember one of their names, but I'm really terrible with names in general. The girl she was legally blind and she was deaf. So her friend Caleb was a very interesting fellow too. He was translating for her and for the other guy in a way where even though he was also deaf or interpreting, and the way he would when I would write something. So anyways, I'm getting way too ahead of myself. So the guy, the Indian fellow, wasn't giving me anything. So then I was like, okay, there's three people right next to me. I can join their group and start talking. The funniest thing happened. The DMV in Rochester is literally like where it's Hell's Gate, or it's limbo or purgatory for people that want to just not be there or want to do other things. So I had a 1 or 1.5 hour conversation with two deaf people and one deaf and blind person, legally blind person, without saying a word. I had this whole conversation with three people without saying a word. I never knew I could do that. I never knew I was even gonna try to do that. But just realizing that, hey, I'm this extroverted guy. These people are communicating with each other right now. I can either just watch them like everybody else. It's kind of, I mean, that's what human beings do, I guess. They observe because they don't know what's going on. There's a bunch of people watching them because they're in a line and there's multiple lines. So they're watching these three individuals communicate. And it's fascinating. So for me, I was like, hey, I want to make new friends. So I tapped Caleb on the shoulder. I'm like, hey, do you speak? I think I did technically speak one word. I was like, hey, he's like, so I was like, oh, okay. So everybody can hear. All right. So I started typing and I asked them a bunch of questions and literally we talked for so long where I typed for so long and I interacted with them without using words, and they really liked that. They appreciated it. They were giving me the interaction had more depth in it than a conversation with that guy right next to me. And it says something. But anyways, no offense to my friend, but yeah, he seemed like he wanted to get out of there so he could work. Yeah, it was very awesome. That was my favorite interaction of the whole day. Talking or communicating with these three people and making friends right there, because I treated them with respect and dignity and curiosity and wonder what their lives were like. And one of them added me on Facebook. He's the brother of the girl who's deaf and legally blind. Sure, I'll remember his name, but he also is deaf. And I asked them how they knew each other by writing, and Caleb interpreted to the other guys, to the other two, and the girl actually did sign language, and I understood it. She was like, so I understood they grew up together. So then I was like, oh, okay, and then I typed if they're related, are they brother and sister? And she's like, yeah. She's like they're brother and sister. Caleb is the interpreter or friend, I think. And then, long story short, I also forced them to tell me about their interests. No, I'm kidding. I asked them if they play video games, and the girl was like, so she can't see well enough. She can see close. She can't see well enough to play video games. And the brother, I think he was on the phone. He was FaceTiming and signing on. He was FaceTime signing. And so then I asked them if they listen to music, and then below it, I'm like, I'm sorry, I don't know what you guys are able to do. And the girl's like, yeah, like she started nodding. After Caleb like interpreted, he was doing sign, but he had his hands on her hands so she could understand what you're saying. And she said it's okay that you don't know that what we can do and like we can't do, but she said yes, that we do listen to music. She signed that they listen to music, and she said, yeah, I love music. Like she really loved music, and she was doing this like that, and I'm like, what does that mean in my head? So then I asked Caleb, how do you guys listen to music? And he's like, and she wrote, she's like, we listen through vibrations. Music actually makes vibrations that deaf people, maybe it's stronger for them because they don't have the hearing. I'm not sure, but that's my guess. And they were like, I was like, oh, I want to know some of your songs. So I gave them my phone on Spotify. I can't show it right now because I'm recording on that, but oh wait, I can. I have two phones. So they gave me I gave them my phone, and they started adding. Caleb started adding, thinking about songs, and he kept doing this and then this, and then he would add music to my Spotify, and he made a new playlist for me. He's like, "Can I make a new playlist?" I'm like, "Yeah, go for it." So then he made this playlist. Come on, it's called, not sure what it means, but Roco. It's called Rico. If you guys can see it, I don't know. Rico. Wait, let's do that. Yeah, Rico. And then my favorite song so far is this guy. This song, All That Really Matters. It's called All That Really Matters by Aluminum and Teddy Swins. It's such a good song, and I love it. I listened to the rest of them, and Justin Timberlake is pretty good. So I interacted with some people that I would never think I could do. Even me as an extrovert, sometimes I don't realize I have the ability, even if I wasn't an extrovert, but I have the ability as an extrovert to push the boundaries a little more than the conventional way of talking to people that just talk, I guess, that can hear me. I don't know. And I did that, and it was awesome. I made new friends. I discovered new ways that people experience music. And I said something that I think the Golden Rule kind of explains or is about. They were interested why I wanted to listen to their music or listen to it the way they. I didn't know there was actual songs in there. I thought there was just vibrations. But so that was my thought when they told me that, and I wrote, I'm like, just because you guys can't experience something I can, just because you guys can't experience something the way I can, doesn't mean I won't. I will experience it the way you can, so we can have a connection about it. That's what I said, and they all smiled, so it was awesome. Yeah, man, just amazing day. Video this far. And you resonate with what I'm saying. The Golden Rule applies to anybody that's a good person that has a heart and they want to have connections and they want to be like heard and seen, and they want if you want to make a difference in the world and you want people to treat you the way you want, so you got to start treating them the way you want to be treated. And I mean, that is the saying, but you have to kind of push the envelope a little bit sometimes. Do stuff that, like, if you were in somebody's shoe, what would you want? What would you want from people or somebody? If you ever had somebody that you showed kindness to, that in the future came back tenfold, or even reciprocated in the future, maybe a total stranger, maybe a loved one or someone, write in the comments what you did. I want to know. Like, I want to be open-minded to helping people and talking to people in all walks of life. I know there's bad people in the world. I know there's people that you shouldn't trust, and if you already know you shouldn't trust them, then there's no point in even thinking about trusting them again. But there are people, like strangers, even at a DMV, or even at your like grocery store, that are just like seeking connection, and you could be the one that give it to them. You could just crack a joke at the line, or give them a compliment or something. I said in my previous video, we live in the information age. I know what I say. I know some people might say it's easy for you to say because you're positive and you're optimistic and this, that, and third. If you watch the previous video, you'll see that I've been through hell and back, or at least I've been through a lot of suffering, and I'm still trying to make people's day whenever I can, whenever it makes sense. So I encourage you guys to do the same. Lastly, I haven't really done this before because I thought it was kind of gimmicky and like, it wasn't. I don't want to seem like I want you guys to like, comment, and subscribe for my benefit. But I asked ChatGPT. I don't like doing that because it seems gimmicky, and if people like it, they're gonna like it. But the argument is, if you like my content, if you want to come back, liking the video, commenting, or even subscribing, any of the three will bring you back to this channel. If I post something, I'm trying to post a daily vlog video about self-development and just and improving your life and eventually becoming the person you want to be. I'm working on it myself, I got a long way to go, but we'll get it done together. Thank you for watching. Freedom Phantom out.